Bitcoin may be flashing an incredibly clear buy signal if you are brave enough to go against the herd. Corporate negative yield rates reach insane levels. Trump privately fears that there may be a recession coming to the United States, and Russia's Rosneft ditches the dollar. Before we get into all of that, Bybit has added a sweet new feature whereby traders are now able to exchange their coins directly on Bybit. Now you can exchange Bitcoin against any of the other three currencies, so Bitcoin, Ethereum, EOS, and XRP. So you can now easily, for example, use Bitcoin to buy XRP, then short XRP, then cash your profits out into Bitcoin. There is a link down below where you can get signed up if you are not already on Bybit. Please also do remember that this is a margin trading platform, and while it is a high reward potential, it is also a high risk potential, and thus is for experienced traders only. Also, the guys over at SIMETRI have released their market signals for top cryptocurrencies on the move. Here is a shot of what that looks like. It's some pretty cool stuff, and as always, guys, you gotta remember these kind of signals are just an indicator. You should, of course, make your own calls on any cryptocurrency trade, but I do like these as it really gives some good ideas of trades to kind of go and take a look at and check the indicators yourself and see if you personally confirm that. Anyway, the price of Bitcoin. Well, to be more accurate, Bitcoin could be flashing a major buy signal as the market fear index hits 5 out of 100. That is insane. We have not seen this kind of extreme fear and negative market sentiment in a very long time. What's happening out there, guys? Are you guys okay? Y'all feeling good? This is crazy. Have I just become numb to everything happening around me, or is there actually something going on that should warrant concern? For me, I feel like it's just another day in crypto. Why all the fear? Now, perhaps the fear index is accounting for people's concerns about the wider economic situation. If so, well, then I can see that kind of making sense. And yes, you probably should be worried about the economy with the current state that it's in, because things are starting to look pretty damn grim on a macro level. There is no guarantee, of course, either that investors will flee the higher risk stock markets into an even riskier crypto market. They may just look to park their money in gold and chill. But that shouldn't account for a Bitcoin fear rating that is as high as this. Anyway, sentiment analysis is not a perfect tool, but I do find it hilarious that at 12K everybody's like, yeah, mega bullish, new paradigm of money, raw! And then at 10K people are like, oh, massive scam, gotta short that banker manipulated Ponzi scam. What's going on, guys? The funny things too about the fear rating, and yeah, I have seen a lot of negative comments recently about people actually being afraid, so I'm not super surprised by this. But the funny thing is that we're still up over 300% since the start of the year just on Bitcoin. How that is not insanely bullish, I don't understand. Anyway, volume is down big time though, around 40% lower volume in the last couple of days than we saw back in late June, for example. Seems that like a lot of people are kind of in the wait and see mode currently. Overall, the $10,000 zone has been acting as a real line in the sand for Bitcoin, with any dips under $10,000 being very brief, and the $9,500 zone kind of holding as a downward trend support. But anyway, back to that earlier thought. Does this fear index mean that it's a good time to buy Bitcoin? Well, looking at some other factors, the RSI is neutral, so not really screaming a buy there, although we have seen the RSI bounce back up from the current levels quite a few times, but we have not yet hit that oversold moment, which actually screams that, yeah, this is a buy, and also says there might be a bigger downside still to come. The MACD is still in a downtrend on the daily. The monthly candle currently not looking super hot, as it may end up closing right around the opening price if this trend continues. There is the very real possibility, of course, of another leg down from here, which, if so, means that there may be more opportunity to buy later at an even lower price. The technicals are not painting a very hot picture at the moment, and the sentiment being in the negative zone doesn't really help and does little to increase confidence. That being said, I'm not running out and opening up a short on Bitcoin. I'm kind of just chilling on the sidelines at the moment. Sometimes just sitting out the market can be more powerful than trying to trade the chop. However, CNBC did just say that Bitcoin is looking quite bearish, which if the CNBC counter indicator remains true to form, then that means we're probably going to be back up over 11K tomorrow. Now might be the time to buy Bitcoin, according to CNBC, if he's the counter indicator. Anyway, that being said, these price levels remain a good opportunity for long-term value investors, and the dollar cost averager since a million Satoshis is only around $100 today. The long-term trend is still firmly intact, and the macro picture for Bitcoin has never looked any better, which is why whether it's 9K or 10K or 11K, I am happy to add to my Bitcoin stack, especially when I look at the increasingly clear picture of what is happening around the world with the global economy. There are new reports coming out about the unbelievable surge in corporate debt with negative yields, skyrocketing from 20 billion at the start of the year to $1 trillion, with analysts saying that it poses a risk unlike anything investors have ever seen. Just look at this chart, guys. I mean, seriously, what does this say to you? To me, it says big trouble ahead. There is no scenario in which corporate debt surging like that is a good thing. This is crazy. And reports have been coming out that behind closed doors, President Trump is increasingly worried about the state of the economy and the pending U.S. recession in spite of the public rhetoric. They are running out of tools. And look, it's not a commentary on Trump. I only bring this up to highlight that the global economy is on the ropes big time. I know I keep hammering on about the negative yield bonds and the currency devaluations and the trade wars and all that stuff. I do it because it's important, because Bitcoin does not exist in a bubble. You essentially have a giant rigged global economy which goes through these boom and then bust cycles. Well, the last bust, the last big one, was 11 years ago. We are well due for another big crash. Another event where the rich transfer another percentage of global wealth from the pockets of the poor right into their pockets. Because when the crash does happen, and it will, and look guys, it's not meant to be some kind of doom and gloom statement, the world's ending. These are cycles. It is simple, it's inevitable, and it's unfortunate. Millions of people might lose their jobs, millions of people might lose their homes, millions of people might lose opportunities for an entire lifetime. It's brutal, it's disgusting, it's a gross system that exists right now. But it exists, so find ways to limit your exposure to these events. Gold and Bitcoin are both good safe havens. And then there is this story, which is, I think, honestly devastating to the US petrodollar. Russia's Rosneft will be switching to euros in exchange for their oil products. Rosneft is the 22nd biggest oil company in the world and the third biggest oil company inside of Russia. It is only a matter of time before Gazprom and Lukoil, the other two companies which are bigger than them, join this party. And Russia has already been exploring a gold-backed cryptocurrency for oil settlements, as well as dumping 85% of their US bonds. It would seem that Russia is truly moving away from the petrodollar, and that move is nearing its completion. Add into this that China has increasingly been using yuan, not dollars, for oil trading. Iran and the EU have also ditched the dollar in their oil dealings, so have Iran and India, who are using euros. And increasingly, the EU is trying to move away from the dollar in international settlements overall with their new SWIFT competitor. This trend will continue. The dollar has become overly weaponized, overly politicized towards both friend and foe alike. The international community, they're not magically just going to return to the dollar for oil. They're ditching it for good. This is a trend. And without the US dollar being linked to oil and being the go-to for international trade, then the power of the dollar will continue to wane, which only puts more pressure on the US economy, particularly in the short term and very much in the long term. And if the US economy enters a recession, then of course it will have far-reaching effects for the entire global economy. Even our old buddy Tether is planning to launch a Chinese yuan-backed stablecoin. Why is Tether doing this? Because Tether is an agent of chaos. They just like to watch the world burn. That's why. Because having US regulators breathing down their necks was not enough. They have to go out and poke the hornet's nest that is the Chinese government by launching a yuan stablecoin. Anyway, sometimes looking at the macro picture of the global economy, I feel like the legacy system is already fatally wounded. But it's not dead yet. And then in these death throes of it dying, there's going to be massive devastation. One thing is for sure though, with so much economic dysfunction happening at a macro level, I am so happy to have a nice little stash of Bitcoin. This is the peaceful monetary revolution. Cryptocurrency is the money of the future. All this other stuff, that's the past. And I'm excited about the future. Anyway, just my 2 Satoshis, guys. You let me know what you think about any of these stories down below in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button. You guys know where it is, right down there. And of course, if you're new around here, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Click that notification bell. You'll know when I put out a new video. Long live the blockchain. Peace out till next time.